So make sure that you have this notes page and a pencil to go along with it. All right, the first thing is the number system organizes numbers based on their type and characteristics. So we're going to fill in the blank here with opposite terms. So when we say the word opposite, that we need to make sure that we understand what opposite means. So when we're talking about words like agree, the opposite of agree is disagree. I know this kind of seems silly, but we need to make sure that we understand opposite. The opposite of awake is asleep. The opposite of outside is inside. And I'm going to turn it over to you guys for the rest of these. All right, so the next part is where we go into numbers. So numbers also have opposites. All right, positives and negative whole numbers are called integers. So whole numbers are what we've worked with up until this point. Whole numbers are all positive numbers and 0. Those are whole numbers. Now, when we throw in the negative, that's where the word integer comes into play. All right, so I'm just going to place a few of these numbers into our diagram, and then we're going to have you guys do the rest. So -4, because it's negative, it's going to be an integer. So all the negative numbers are not whole numbers, they are integers, okay? +4 is going to be a whole number. +4 is a whole number because it's positive, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and place 0 for you guys because that is a special number, and that's going to go in the whole numbers part. Now I'm going to have you guys fill in the rest of those on your Ed puzzle. All right, moving down to the bottom. We have a number line, okay, and the numbers to the right of 0 are positive, and you can see the numbers to the left of 0 are all negative. Okay, now we're going to fill in this table. Again, I'm going to do a couple of these, and then you guys are going to finish the rest, all right? So the opposite of 6, so this is +6. The opposite of +6 is going to be -6, and you can use the number line to help you do that. So we have the opposite of +6 here. You look at the other side, which would be right over here at -6. Okay? Now, if I'm looking for two numbers that are 3 away from -1, that means I'm going to start at -1, and I'm going to move 3 away from that, right? So if I move 3 away from -1 to the right, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's going to put me at +2. And if I go to the left to get 3 away from -1, 1, 2, 3, that's going to put me at -4. So +2 and -4 are both 3 away from -1. Now I'm going to let you guys do the rest of these in your Ed puzzle. All right, let's move to the back. Let's move to the back. Now I'm just going to fill out this table with you. I'm going to give you some words and phrases that indicate negative, 0, and positive so that we better understand what negatives and positives are, okay? So just fill this out with me so that we can refer back to this table in the future, all right? So the first negative word is debit. A debit indicates that you are taking money out of your bank account. It's going to be negative because you're taking money away. Decrease is a negative word. The next word is withdrawal. Withdrawal means you are withdrawing money from your bank account or taking away from. So that's going to be negative. Loss. Expense. Again, an expense means you are losing money. If you have an expense, it means you're spending money. So it is a loss of money. Below, when we're talking about below zero or below sea level, that's where you'll see below come into play. And then also overdraft. Overdraft means you went negative in your bank account. So that is also a negative number. All right, words that you see to indicate zero or no change would be neutral or even. All right. Some positive words that you might see: increase, gain, rise, credit. So that means someone has credited you money or has given you something. So that's a positive change. Deposit, when you deposit money in your bank account or put money into something, that is going to be positive. And above, again, above sea level or above zero is going to be positive. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of these with you and then turn you loose to do a few of these on your own as well. So the first one is a football player caught a 57-yard pass. So that's going to be a positive 57. And you can put the plus here. If you do, it will get a little more complicated later as we start to throw these numbers in equations. But if you did put a little plus sign, it wouldn't be incorrect. It just indicates that it's positive. We probably want to get into the habit of not putting the positive sign in front of it, though. For number 2, the temperature dropped 15 degrees overnight. So because the word dropped is here, we know it's going down. So that's going to be negative 15. And then number 3 says your account is credited $14, and credit is in our positive list. So we are going to make that positive 14. Number 5, you do not have to do because we did not discuss protons and we do not need to. Right, so the rest of these I want you to do on your ed puzzle. All right, the last thing I want to do is write a situation to describe negative 28. Now I'm going to write one, and then I would like for you to write one that's different than mine. Okay, so I am going to write, I made a debit of $28 yesterday. So because I use the word debit, that is a negative word. That is going to be a negative 28. So I made a debit of $28 out of my bank account yesterday. Okay, that is it. You will be writing a situation that describes negative 28 on the ed puzzle, and then summarizing today's lesson in just a couple sentences or two today.